Welcome back to the game room, guys. Today I'm going to go over my video game pickups for the months of April and May. I've got over 200 games here, and this is probably going to be a two-part video. Let's get started. Alright guys, I know it's been a month or so since I last uploaded a video. Kind of been contemplating how the channel is going to move forward. What I found was I wasn't playing games as much as I would have liked. I was spending most of my time making and editing video. So at first when I started the channel, I thought I was going to do a video a week on and upload like every Friday or Saturday. Now I think I'm just going to do a video basically whenever I feel like it. If I make a big pickup, or if there's something interesting that I'm doing currently with the game room, I do want to keep up the game room improvements and updates. I'll still do videos on that, and I'll still do videos on my pickups. But as far as just trying to get out a video every week just for the sake of getting out a video, I'm not going to do that anymore. I made a Facebook post about all of my plans, all the things I'm struggling with as far as equipment and time, and I want to maybe do some Let's Plays in the future, but I need to get a capture card and work out how all that'll work. And that'll help me kind of balance my playing time versus video time. So that's just a quick update to start, but we've got a lot of games here to go over. I bought over 200 video games in the last couple months, actually last month and a half. I've just been going to yard sales every week. This is like 3 or 4 weeks of yard sailing, and I've also been making a few trades on Facebook and stuff. So I'm going to split this up into 2 videos, but let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to show you was basically a gift from my sister's boyfriend. I guess he was going through a lot of his old gaming stuff and just found a lot of stuff he didn't want. He also gave me his PSP 1000, and in the middle of trying to repair that, it has a left analog trouble. I was trying to play Need for Speed on it, and the car just kept veering to the left and crashing. So I'm going to have to try and fix that, but here's the stuff he gave me that he just didn't want. The first thing is the Secret Codes book from 2001. This is pretty cool. It just has different codes you can enter for video game systems from that era. PlayStation, Dreamcast, 64, Game Boy, stuff like that. I just like to have these kind of books because I think they're interesting. The next book here he gave me is a Halo 3 guide, and this looks like the official guide from Microsoft. It's got the Xbox 360 logo. Yeah, it says official guide. And I mentioned before I beat Halo 1. I got Halo 2 for Christmas. I already own Halo 3, so there's a good chance I'll use this when I play through Halo 3. Next thing, he gave me a couple of guides for Pokemon Gold and Silver. This looks like it's the official Nintendo Power guide. So really cool to have. Nice looking cover on the front. I like that metallic look. And I've played and beaten Pokemon Silver and Crystal. I'm not going to go back and beat Gold because it's basically the same game, but still cool to have. If I ever play it again, I'll use the guide. And this is just another guide for the same game. This one's in a little bit more beat up shape. This is from Prima. but still cool to have. Next couple things are from World of Warcraft. I feel like I kind of missed out on the zeitgeist with World of Warcraft. It was really big back when I was in college, and I was poor, and in college I didn't really have enough money to put up the monthly subscription fee. I think it was $15. So I kind of missed out on that. Last year I did subscribe to it for a while, and I leveled up to about level 30. I enjoyed it. I just wasn't playing it enough, so I ended up canceling, but I would like to get back to it someday. So he gave me this World of Warcraft Atlas, and this is really cool. This has the maps of all the areas that you visit in World of Warcraft. So that was neat. These are from Brady Games. And this is a World of Warcraft Master Guide, the 2nd edition. And very cool. These are in pretty good condition too, so good to have those. Another thing that he gave me was a Xbox 360 controller charger. So that was neat. I don't really like the way the Xbox 360 controllers run on batteries. I like the PlayStation method where you just charge it. I own 4 PlayStation 4 controllers, so I always have a charge on at least one of them. So I prefer that. I don't really like the batteries, but actually gotta live with it. Another thing he gave me, this case for the PSP, I believe, and I really haven't figured out what this is yet. It looks like it's just speakers that hook up to the PSP. I am not completely sure. I believe you just set it in there, and this is for like listening to music or something. But that was cool. So those are all the things that he gave me, so thank you to him. Now let's get into this next pickup. So I was on my local bulletin board, and I saw a post in there that said Xbox 360 with Kinect, $25. So I decided to jump on it. The reason I did is because I didn't own Kinect yet. And Kinects go for about $15 by themselves, so I thought, well, if I can get a Kinect and a 360 for $25, then I could just sell the 360 and at least make my money back. So I went and picked it up, and the 360 was a 4 gigabyte model. The Kinect was there. They were in great condition. The only thing is the 360 did not come with a controller. But I ended up selling the 360 for, I think I sold it without the controller for $50. So that was a great find, great profit I made on that. I usually don't aim to make a profit when I sell things, but I mean, any money that I make will go back into the collection. I'll just use the money to buy more games. So, and the other good thing about that pickup was it came with the boxes. So I now have a Kinect box. I kept the Kinect too. It's over there. I just didn't want to get it out for the video. It's already hooked up and stuff. And this box. The 360 I own is a 250 gig, so I didn't own a box for the 4 gigabyte, so I just decided to keep it. And they're in excellent condition. They look like they just came out of the store. Alright, so now let's get into the yard sales that I went to. The first, well, I guess this is over a few weeks. So I went to a yard sale, kind of out of the way. It was about 15 minutes from my house and 15 minutes from the rest of town. But I'm really glad that I went to it because they had a lot of stuff. I think They foreclose on homes. They had a bunch of stuff in tubs. A lot of the stuff wasn't sorted through, and it wasn't priced. So, really, I think I was one of the first people to get to it. So, this is the first thing I found. Pokemon X. Now, when I bought my Nintendo 3DS XL, I bought Pokemon X brand new, just as a game to play with it. Well, I never ended up playing it. And one day on Facebook, I saw a guy was trying to find newer Pokemon games for trade. And he had like 25 Game Boy Advance games and a Nintendo DS, the original Nintendo 3DS, or Nintendo DS. So I decided, I'm not playing this. I'll just trade him Pokemon X for the 25 games that he's got. Plus the DS, which I think I've already sold. I think I sold it for $25. And that's about what this is worth. So I was real excited to find this and to put it back in the collection. All the games at this yard sale were $1, so this was would have been a great find, but I opened it up. And you always want to make sure the game is in the case when you go to yard sales. A lot of times I open the case and it's just the case. But I opened it up, and inside the case I found this. That is not Pokemon X. That is Pokemon Ranger. Still has the X and Y manual and the box, but just the wrong game. But I decided to pick it up anyway. At least I've got the box back. Maybe I'll stumble upon a loose copy someday, but I didn't have Pokemon Ranger either, so I just decided to pick it up. Also at that yard sale, interesting PlayStation title. This is Hooters Road Trip. And this looks like a racing game. It is funny, I looked on the inside cover and look at the game that they were advertising. Pamela Anderson. So you've got Hooters advertising for Pamela Anderson. So I think they were aiming toward a specific market for this game. But cool to have, interesting. And now I picked up some PlayStation 2 games. This is probably the best find at this yard sale. I found Final Fantasy X-2 complete manual. I already had Final Fantasy X-2, but it was disc only, so I'm glad to find the box and the manual. So I'll try and sell my old copy of it. That was cool to find. I also found Pirates of the Caribbean: The Legend of Jack Sparrow. Now, usually when I'm out yard sailing, I own a lot of games. So when I'm out yard sailing, I have my phone with me and I've got an app on there. The Collector Z app connects to the database on my computer, and it tells me every game that I own. And usually I check that. I wasn't checking for some reason at that yard sale. It must have been early in the morning. But I was pretty sure I didn't have this. Turns out I did. But I didn't own the greatest hits version, so I'll probably just end up keeping this anyway. And it's complete, so it's still a good deal for $1. And here's a game I didn't already own, and it's Samurai Warriors. Picked that up for $1. Samurai Warriors is a spin-off of Dynasty Warriors. It's basically just a beat 'em up. It's like you against like thousands of soldiers. Some people like it, some people don't. But also at that yard sale, a couple of PC games. Now since I picked this up, I realized if you are interested in picking up PC games after like the late 1990s, that's when they started attaching an activation code with all the games. So chances are, if you pick these up at a yard sale, the activation code has probably already been used and you won't be able to play it. Now, I collect these just to have the box and the manual and the game complete. If I really want to play it, I'll go on Good Old Games, GOG.com, and play it that way. But I still like to collect the physical box and the manual and all that. So I got Zoo Tycoon Complete Collection, and also Zoo Tycoon 2 Zookeeper Collection. These are in great shape. Alright, that was the first yard sale. The next one, just a few pickups here. I saw this game, Top Gun Combat Zones. It was marked for $2. Again, I opened it up to make sure the disc was in there. It was. It's complete. There was an extra disc. It was NFL Blitz 2002. So for $2, I was getting 2 games. So I decided to pick it up. I've already gotten rid of that extra game. I sold it with a GameCube I was selling. So that turned out to be a pretty good thing to have, so I could sell that GameCube. Also picked up a couple PC games for 50 cents, and these are probably others that I won't be able to play. I just like to have them. Driver. I used to play a lot of Driver on the PlayStation. I would play that suicide mode, and it was like you had like 10 cops chasing you, and they would just try and wreck you. So you'd go to San Francisco, the San Francisco map, and all San Francisco maps always have the huge like hills, and you would just fly off of those hills, and the cops would fly even further, and you'd see them wreck, and it was just really cool. I used to play a ton of that. And then the Sims Hot Date expansion. Those were both 50 cents, so I just picked them up. Next yard sale, found some really good condition Xbox games. These look like brand new, so the guy must have bought these new and must have never got rid of them. And these were all $1 each. For the original Xbox, Need for Speed Underground 2. They're all complete. Excellent shape. Real excited to have this one. Forza 2 Motorsport. I own Forza and Forza 4 as well as Forza Horizon. I don't own 2 and 3 yet, but now I have 2, so that was good. Shaun White Snowboarding for $3.60. And this guy must have liked snowboarding games. Big Air, or Stoked Big Air Edition. That's another snowboarding game. Okay, next yard sale. I went to a church yard sale. And when you go to church yard sales, they're usually not going to have too many games. But this one had a few sports titles marked at $1 each, so I decided to pick them up, and they were in good condition, had the box, had the manual. So, All-Star Baseball 2003 for $1. ESPN College Hoops 2K5. High Heat Major League Baseball 2004. This has Kurt Schilling on the front. A lot of people don't know this about Kurt Schilling. After he retired, he actually went into the video game market and made or helped produce a game. It was this game, Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning. Kurt Schilling helped fund this game, and he lost a lot of money on it. Yeah, that game did not sell very well. The studio ended up shutting down after that, but just a cool fun fact about Kurt Schilling. And then NBA 2K8 also. Next yard sale. I went, I was looking around, they had some movies, and mixed in with the movies they had some GameCube games. It didn't look, I don't think they knew that the GameCube games were in there, but they were marked for $1, and these are all complete in box. NBA Street. This was a great find. Super Monkey Ball. Great find for $1 there. And Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. At that same yard sale, when I first got there, there was a lady putting out PlayStation 2 games, and she was marking them with stickers that said $5. So I was kind of looking at them, and I knew that was too high for me, and she said, well, the prices are negotiable. So I said, well, would you come down to $1 each on them? And she said, well, no, that's a little too low. These go for about $15 in the store. So I decided that's way out of my price range, and they don't go for that much in the store. They don't even sell them in stores anymore. So I went over and bought the GameCube games, and the lady that was taking money, she was like, oh, video games, I didn't know we had any of those. Like, what do we charge for those? And I said, honestly, this is about right, $1 each. And there was another lady there that agreed with me. She said, yeah, those are old and you can buy them in a flea market. So, and then the other lady selling the PS2 games came over and said, well, what would you say the PS2 games are valued at? And I said, honestly, they're valued at $1 to $2 each. So she said, oh, okay, just give me $10 for them. And there were 8 games, so I said, yeah, that's a good deal. So talked my way into these. So I picked up, and these are in great shape too, Full Spectrum Warrior Tin Hammers, Madden NFL 2005. Interesting title, Madden 2005 is, that was the first PS2 game I ever owned. I bought it with the system on eBay, and it is the collector's edition. So now I have the collector's and a standard edition. Motocross Mania 3. NASCAR 2001. NCAA Football 2004. Cool title. This looks like a car combat game, Roadkill. It's probably something similar to Twisted Metal. WWE SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. Oh, it looks like Brock Lesnar on the front. World Championship Poker. So that was a good find. And then the final yard sale for that day, I found this. This is a Nintendo DS case. It was marked for $1.50. Now usually I wouldn't just buy a case. So another yard sale tip here. Whenever you find just a case by itself, always check the pockets because you never know what might be left in there. So I checked all the pockets. The last pocket I checked was a side pocket, and I reach in there, and there was this game. This is The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, Attack of the Twonkies. And I did not own that game, so like I said, I wouldn't have picked up just the case, but since it had the game in there and I was getting something that they didn't know they were selling, I thought that was pretty cool, so I picked that up. That was $1. And then finally that day, after I went to all the yard sales, I ended up going to GameStop, and they were having a buy two get one free sale. So I picked up some games. Now these first first 3 I didn't do as part of the buy two get one free. They were just cheap. Steel Diver for 3DS. That was like $1.79 or something. Assassin's Creed Revelations. And this completes my Ezio trilogy. So, Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations. And that was $1.79. I think this one was like $2.39. Titanfall for $3.60. And then as part of the buy two get one, these were all $4.50 each, so they ended up being about $3 each after the discount. Heavenly Sword for PS3. Saints Row the Third for PS3. And Singularity, PS3. And then also for 360, Darksiders 2, and they just announced a sequel's coming out for this one. Dead Space 3. And The Last Remnant. This looks like a RPG from Square Enix. If you've played this, let me know. Let me know if it's any good. So that was the first week. So the week after, my buddy Steve, I usually try and go out yard sailing on Fridays. If I have every other Friday off with my job, so I try and go out on Fridays. If it's a week where I am not off on Friday, I go on Saturday. This week was the first week of May, and that's usually the biggest yard sale week. There were over 100 that week, I remember. I wasn't able to go out on Friday, but my buddy Steve went out for me, and he picked these games up for me, and they were all, I believe these were all $1 each. So that was really cool of him. He would text me pictures of them, and I would say, yes, no, no, yes. So thank you, Steve, for picking these up for me. Medal of Honor Limited Edition for $3.60. Dance Dance Revolution X. Actually, I don't know if he picked this one up. I may have picked that one up myself. I think that one was 75 cents. Legacy of Kain Defiance. Blood Omen 2. That's also part of the Legacy of Kain series. Scorpion King. Soul Calibur 2. I just bought this on Xbox, so now I've got it on PS2 as well. Spider-Man. I was surprised I didn't have this. Seems like I see this game everywhere. And the best find out of that bunch, Zelda Twilight Princess for Wii for $1. The copy of Twilight Princess I have for Wii is the Nintendo Selects copy. So now I've got one of each. This one is sealed, so I will probably just keep this sealed and play this one. First I thought I was just going to sell that. That's why I told him to pick it up, but come to find out I didn't own that version yet. So that same day I did manage to get out on my lunch and find a couple games. These were $1 each also. PlayStation 2 Tekken Tag Tournament. And WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 featuring ECW. The Undertaker on the front there. Alright, so that was all for that. Well, the next set of pickups were from the following day when I went out on Saturday. So, got up real early, went out to a yard sale that was starting at 8 a.m. Said they had a lot of stuff. I think it listed video games. So I found these. These were a little bit more than I would have liked to pay, but they were in real good condition. And they were PS3 games. So these I believe were $2 each. FIFA Soccer 09. Madden NFL 09. NCAA Football 09. NCAA Football 13. And a couple of Wii games. Cabela's Dangerous Hunts 2009. Kung Fu Panda 2. I'll have to pick up a U-Draw for that one. And they also had this for sale for $3, I believe. These are the SingStar microphones in the box. I believe the manual for it is in there also. So that was pretty good for $3. Anything boxed for cheap, I'm going to pick up. Now I've got a couple PS2 microphones. Next yard sale I went to, it was really early still. They were still setting up, but I did manage to find one game there for 50 cents for PS1. San Francisco Rush Extreme Racing. So that was neat. Next sale I went to was an estate sale. So I went in. Didn't expect to find any games, but I found a couple of old PC games. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2004. These were 50 cents each. And Microsoft Train Simulator. These are just in the sleeves. There were more to these. So I'm counting these as loose copies. Next yard sale I went to was a street sale. And I saw they had this game. Well, I'll just show it to you first. Dance Dance Revolution Ultramix 2. In a previous video, I picked up Ultramix and Ultramix 3, so now I've got two. They were selling it with a couple dance pads, all together for $5, so I just picked it up. I didn't own any dance pads for the Xbox yet, so now we can play Dance Dance Revolution on Xbox if we want. And also at that same yard sale, I found for $1 Age of Mythology Game of the Year edition. So some of you may know I'm a huge, maybe one of my top 5 games of all time is Age of Empires franchise, one of the best franchises of all time. I've beat Age of Empires 2, Age of Empires 3, recently started playing Age of Mythology. I already had this, it was a loose copy, that's in there somewhere. But now I've got the full box with the manual and everything. And also in the box, I didn't know this until I got home, is another game, Empire Earth, with the manual. So that was a bonus. Both of these have see, like this one has a code on the back that you probably have to enter in order to play it. So I probably won't be able to play these, but still cool to have. I have Age of Myth and another version, so. Next yard sale. Another bunch of PC games. This was $5 for everything, so I just picked it up. Dungeon Siege. Sid Meier's Civilization 3. I have never played a Civilization game. I really need to do that. It seems like it would be right up my alley. Okay, and then a couple of expansion packs for Dark Age of Camelot. So this one is Catacombs. And Trials of Atlantis. So that was cool. These will look cool on the shelf. I think Dark Age of Camelot is probably MMORPG. Let me know if you know. Another yard sale. Just picked this up for $1 for 360. Rock Band 2. And then finally, this will be all for this video. This will conclude the yard sale videos. And then the next one, I've got a bunch of trades that I made, either on Facebook or where I just bought stuff on Facebook. So last yard sale I went to, I was browsing. They had these books for sale. These were all $2 or $3 each. Actually, this magazine was 50 cents. Halo. This is from the official Xbox magazine. Real good condition, so I just picked it up. 50 cents. Nice to have. And then some Star Wars books, and these are also in great condition for $2. I'm a huge Star Wars fan too, so. And this one was video game related, that's why I picked it up. Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. And then I got Star Wars The Ultimate Visual Guide. Star Wars The Phantom Menace, The Expanded Visual Dictionary. Cool to have. And then also, this was great, the Halo Encyclopedia. This is thick. Look at all that. Great pictures inside. So, really nice to have that. And they didn't have any video games out, but looked like they were into video games, so I asked them, and there was a kid there, and he said, yeah, I got some. I was going to put them out, but I didn't have time. So I said, well, if you bring them out, let me take a look at them. So he did. He brought out 5 360 games. I asked him how much they wanted for them, and they said $1 each. So, and this was a great find for $1. Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. And then some sports titles. Madden NFL 08. Madden NFL 10. NCAA Football 10. NCAA Football 12. So that's part 1 of this pickups video. Be sure to like and subscribe and tune in for the next part. Thanks a lot, guys.